Hey guys, Brandy Walker here. We're continuing our Tips from the Top series that we're having this month of June on, each one of us are giving you a different tip every single Tuesday and Thursday. And tonight, I just want to talk to you guys a little bit about how to push past your fears. Y'all, this is a huge subject. This could be way longer than what I'm going to talk, and I'm only going to talk 5 or 10 minutes, but this is really a big subject, because if you ask people what the number one fear is, usually it is public speaking. And I just wanted to just share with you just a little bit about when I first started Plexus. I know if you've been with me for a while, you've heard this story, but I was challenged by one of my uplines to do a video, and it wasn't a live video because back then when I started almost 5 years ago, we didn't even have live videos on Facebook or Instagram. And so I went up to my bedroom and I shut the door, and I had been literally writing all day long about what I was going to say, and I had been up there for a while, and my husband walked in and he was like, "What's wrong?" Because I was sitting there crying and he's like, "Why are you crying?" I was like, "I have to make a video for my team." And he was like, "Okay, so make it." And y'all, at that moment, it just kind of like struck me as like, I'm kind of being ridiculous. Like, why am I so scared of this? What is it that I could possibly say or not say that is going to be that bad, really? And so, y'all, I pushed past that fear. I turned my screen on. I probably made the video several times, but I just did it. And the next time, guess what? It was just a little bit easier. And the next time, it was a little bit more easy. And then, now I can just kind of hop on and do videos. Now, I'm not going to say this is my favorite thing to do, but I'm not terrified of doing it anymore. And I can just do it. And that's because, oops, sorry, my camera's shaking. That's because anytime you do something for the first time, that's going to be the hardest time that you ever do it. The next time you're going to feel a little bit more comfortable, and you're going to just be able to push past that fear a little bit more. And the next time it's going to be even easier until you're just kind of like me, and you can just get on and talk like you're talking to a person. And when we do Plexus, there's lots of fears. It's not just necessarily of public speaking. So there's the fear of getting started. So maybe you're sitting back and you're like, well, I watch all you guys do this and you make it look so easy, but I could never do that. Maybe you've barely even gotten your product, and like, I can't post about this, I cannot share with my friends, I just can't do it. You can do it. But the next fear is the fear of what others think. And I think we'd all be lying if we said that at least at some point in our life we've been worried what other people think. I think that's just kind of human nature, but some people let it get to them a lot more than others do. And I'll be honest, when I first started, I probably let that fear get to me before I made my first post. I was really concerned just about our friends and our family members and what would they think about me doing something like this. But I knew I wanted to do it, and I really felt like this was something that God was calling me to do for many reasons. My mom had passed away from cancer, and their cancer just literally runs rampant in my entire family. My children had health issues. I had health issues, and I just felt like this was something that could be the answer to that, not only for me, but for my entire extended family and lots of friends that I knew. So I knew this was something I had to do. So I did push past the fear of go ahead and making that first post. My heart was pounding out of my chest when I first made it, but it was received really well, and it just made me more excited to do that next post and that next post and that next post. There's also the fear of rejection, and y'all, there's also a fear of failure and success. And I know, lots of people are fearful of rejection and fearful of, that's hard to say, fearful of failure. But being fearful of success is a real thing. I do remember right before I became a jewel, all of a sudden, it just kind of struck me like, oh my gosh, I think I'm going to be a jewel soon. And I started getting scared. And some people may say, oh, that's ridiculous. That's what you work for. You deserve it, whatever. But I started getting scared of, what if I can't do everything that a jewel is supposed to do? What if there's so many amazing jewels out there, and they're such great leaders, and they're such extroverts, and they can do all these things, and they're so creative, and I can't do any of that. That was a real fear, and I never even thought about it until I actually watched a video that one of our uplines, Angie Zumwalt, she had done, and that was one of the subjects they were talking about, is fear of success. And I was like, oh my gosh, I couldn't put my finger on it all this time, but that's what it was an actual fear of, if I am successful, then I can't live up to it. And so that was kind of holding me back from go ahead and pushing and, really trying to become a jewel with everything I had, because I was scared that I may not be able to live up to all those expectations. Y'all, the Bible actually talks about this, and I'm not going to turn this into a sermon, but I truly believe that God does not want us to be fearful. 2 Timothy 1:7 says, actually, I'm turning the page here. For God hath not given us the spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind. 2 Timothy, that's 2 Timothy 1:7. And I truly believe that. He doesn't want us to be fearful, especially something like this that could help so many people. And, sometimes no matter what we do, those fears are just going to be there. And I would be sorry, there's kids over there playing out across the fence. I totally lost my train of thought. But sometimes no matter what you do, those fears are still going to be there. But it's what you do with that fear that is going to be the difference in whether you succeed or whether you don't succeed. Sometimes we think, oh, I don't want my friends to think I'm making money off of them. We don't want to look at them as dollar signs. And I would definitely say I don't think I've ever looked at my friends, my true friends, as dollar signs. Of course I want to grow my business, and of course I want to make money, but I also want to help people, and I feel like it would be being selfish if I did not share something that has completely changed our entire life. It's changed my health, my children's health, my extended family, my husband, and it's also changed our finances. Y'all, my husband's going to retire from the military after 30 years, and he's got about 15 days, I think, from today. And I will tell you, having our Plexus income has just that's made all the difference in the world of us being able to just have him retire, and then we'll figure out the rest later. And it's just been such a blessing. So how can I keep that to myself? It would be real easy to, but I want other people to be able to experience what we've been blessed with. So I tell this story often, so if you've heard it, just bear with me. But whenever you go into a restaurant and you have a waiter, he waits on you, and he tells you, he serves you your meal, tells you all the specials that they have, and he goes through everything, and you order your food, and then he comes, he lets you eat, and he goes away, and he comes back, and he's like, okay, you guys ready for dessert? And you're like, well, I don't know, what do you have? So he tells you all, how they go down the whole menu, and he takes about 5 minutes to explain all the amazing desserts, and you're like, no, I think I'm full. Thank you anyway. Is that waiter gonna go, oh my gosh, I cannot even believe, I think I just need to quit because I'm not gonna be successful as a waiter because I can't even sell this person dessert? Y'all, of course not. They're not gonna quit. What they're gonna do is they're gonna go on to the next person, because I guarantee you somebody that they talk to throughout the evening is going to want dessert. It's just a matter of finding the right person that is ready for dessert. And it's kind of the same way with our Plexus business. Just because you get a no sometime, maybe you've reached out to someone, a family member or a friend, and they tell you no, they're not interested right now. That shouldn't upset us so much that we feel like we can't be successful. Because I promise you, the only thing that separates jewels and somebody that's trying to be a jewel is that we've just been told no more times. Because I promise you, if you ever make it to jewel level, you have talked to a lot of people about joining you and about these products. So it's just something that you just really have to put yourself out there and just do it, y'all. What's the worst thing that can happen? I mean, they can say no. Okay, that's fine. It's not for every person. And I will say that every, you know, every person that you reach out to is not, they may not even respond, but they're not, every person is going to say yes either, and that's totally okay. It's not a personal thing. It's just, it's time to reach out to the next person. And when I first started reaching out to people, I told one of my uplines, I was like, I cannot send out a cold message to somebody. I just can't do it. And she was like, why not? I don't understand. And I was like, it just makes me so nervous. I can't do it. And she said, you can do it. I mean, you just type it out. And if it makes you that scared, because sometimes you just look to see if they've read it or to see if they, see if they're online, and you just keep stressing about it. She said, type out the message and press send right before you go to bed at night, and put your phone on the nightstand or wherever you put it, and just don't even look at it till the next day. Y'all, I started doing that, and guess what? More people started saying yes, because I was being bold and putting myself out there. And then I didn't stress about it. Either they looked at it or they didn't. And now I can send that message, and sometimes I don't even go back and look to see if they've read it unless they reply, unless I'm going to do a follow-up. But it's just, I just don't take it personally anymore. And I know that's sometimes easier said than done, but if you trust me, the more you do something, the easier it gets. Another tip, if you're, say you want to make videos or you want to make live videos, you can always just practice, like make a video like I'm making right now, or you can make a dummy group on Facebook, just like I have a team page. You can make one that's just, say, you and maybe one other person in the group, and you can just practice doing live videos in that group so that you get comfortable talking on a screen. You can also download the Marco Polo app. Do it with a friend or your upline or somebody, and you guys can talk back and forth to each other. And what that does is help you get more comfortable speaking to a screen and talking to somebody else, and they talk back to you. It really does help you get a lot more comfortable talking on the screen. So that way, when you get ready to do your first live video, you feel comfortable. There's always ways to get around those things that you're fearful of doing, but I promise you, I've heard it said so many times that action cures anxiety, or action cures, if you put action cures pretty much anything. If you're overweight, guess what? Action and working out is going to make you feel better. It's going to help you lose weight. If it's in your business and maybe you're stagnant and you feel like you're just stuck, usually 9 times out of 10 it's because you really you're not doing action. And maybe you're doing action, but it's not working, so you need to find a different action. And that's where your upline comes in. That's where reading books and watching videos and, learning from people and, finding coaches or self-development, finding somebody that's done what you want to do and follow them. Our products are absolutely amazing, y'all. And so they're really easy to share. We don't sell. As a matter of fact, I don't want you to sell anything. I want you to tell your friends what you love about the products, what you love about the business, just like you would if you're sharing like your favorite lipstick or your favorite, leopard print hat. My daughter gave me this for Mother's Day, actually. And just share. I mean, we're not selling anything. Yes, we are eventually going to sell them something, and we are going to make money off of it, but it's just something that we're excited about and we want to share. I'm going to close with saying, telling you guys one little story about my daughter. She is 18 years old, and sorry I'm sweating, we're in Florida and it's super hot and humid out here. But we were talking the other day, and she was talking about her friend, who shall remain nameless. But my daughter's very tall. She's way taller than me, and her friend is also tall. And she said that she started dating this guy, and she started noticing that her friend, when they were like taking pictures, they were just together, that her friend would just kind of slump down to be a little bit shorter than her boyfriend. And it kind of struck my daughter, Gracie. She was like, oh no, sister, we don't do that. You stand up tall and you be proud of being tall. And I thought that was very I don't know, wise of my daughter to be 18, because she's always been a little bit self-conscious of being so tall. But I thought that it was just quite the revelation that she has come to realize, that she needs to be proud of who she is, and thankful that God made her tall, and there's going to be somebody out there that's going to appreciate the fact that she's tall, and the fact that her friend is tall. And, God made them that way. God made us the way we are, that He made you the way you are. And, just be you whenever you're talking to people about plexus. Just be you. You don't have to be anybody else. You don't have to be a Jewel or, your upline or some, a diamond that you saw doing video. You don't have to be them. As a matter of fact, people don't want you to be. They don't want you to be perfect. They want you to just be genuine. And I will say this, during the quarantine, the one thing that I've loved about all of the TV shows that, they're having to have people, all these stars, that they're doing videos from their homes, and they're not, a lot of them don't even have makeup on, or they don't have their hair done. Sorry, my dog. I think that's the coolest thing, because they're just being them, and it makes you feel more connected to them, makes you trust them a little bit more. And I just think that that's how we get past our fears, is just by being ourselves. And so I'm just going to leave you with that tonight. And if you ever have any questions about something that you're fearful of, I promise you, if you can message me or any of the Jewels, and we would love to talk to you about it, because we probably have stacks and stacks of fears that we could talk to you about. So anyway, I hope this helps, and I hope you guys have a wonderful evening.